Good afternoon. Are you Gloria Hartzell?
Georgia Hartzell.
Georgia. I'm
Georgia.
sorry. Yes, it does say Georgia. Georgia. We're in a courtroom, so I put you in the waiting room because you guys were talking over the other folks. This matter is set for 1:45, which is 1 minute from now. So let me make a note here.
We apologize. We didn't know you could hear.
Well, and that's common, so you're doing the best you can. It's a way of actually being in court, and people tend to, it's certainly much less formal when you're sitting there on your own couch, but now you got the hang of it.
Yeah.
All right, here is somebody named TCLA3. Let's see who this is. Well, there's a picture of the ceiling. Good afternoon. Who am I speaking with?
Kelsey Kelly.
Okay, Miss Kelly, you're in our next case.
Yeah, and then, okay. All right, it's this
Who's
number
with
right
you?
here. Dalton Bickings?
Okay, Dalton is there too. All right.
Yes.
Hello, Mr. Bickings.
Hello.
You guys just hang tight for a minute. I'll put you in the waiting room. Don't go away.
Thank you.
All right, it is now 1:45. This case is entitled Georgia Hartzell versus Leroy Powers Jr., Marcos Marquez, and Julian Marquez. Everybody named apparently is residing at 524 South Hooker Avenue in Three Rivers. It's also Ms. Hartzell's address. There does not appear to be a lease. Are they related to you?
They're my grandsons.
Okay. Well, none of them bother to show up. Are they there at the house?
No.
No.
Last I heard, they weren't going to show up, but I don't know.
Have they moved out?
No.
No.
We've tried to get them to move out for a very long time, and they just won't go. That's why we went this route rather than getting physical, you know what I mean?
Well, this is how you do it. It is cumbersome. You can't just throw their stuff out in the street. You have to go through the process. So you're doing it the right way. So I commend you for that. We get a lot of these where it's a relative that refuses to move. I have personal service. No, I have personal service on Julian. And alternate service on Leroy and Marcos. So let's see who's here now. Peter has joined us. Who am I speaking with?
Can you hear me?
Yes, what's your name?
Peter Gould.
All right, let me give you a proper name. Mr. Gould, what case are you here on?
The case concerning my mother, Georgia Hartzell.
All right, I don't have a Peter Gould listed, but so you're just interested in the process?
Yes, I'm not like, I guess, officially in the process, but I just want to make sure everything goes right.
All right, I've got someone, Motorola G Pure. Who am I speaking with there?
Michaela Sage, I'm supposed to be in a meeting at 1.
Yeah, you're in the right place. Let me give you a name. Mickayli. Oh, and I've got somebody here named iPhone, so let's see who this is.
No, put it so we can see you.
All right. Good afternoon. Who am I speaking with?
Talk.
Oh, who?
What's your name?
Who are you?
Julian Marquez.
All right, Mr. Marquez, let's pretend that we're having a court hearing and you'll put your hood down, take your hat off. Because we are having a court hearing. Let me bring these other folks back. Do you know where the other people are?
Yeah, right next to me.
He wants
All
to
right, so
see you.
Leroy is with you and Julian is with you?
I am Julian.
Okay, Leroy,
And Mark.
Marcos, and Julian are all there?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Mr. and Mrs. Bickings, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
All right, well, you guys are late, but better late than none at all. I'm going to advise all of you, the Bickings and the 3 grandsons, what your rights are as a tenant in a landlord-tenant proceeding. As a defendant in a landlord-tenant proceeding, including termination of tenancy, which is what both of these are, or non-payment of rent, you have the right to a trial by a jury. You have a right to obtain counsel for representation in this matter. If you cannot afford an attorney, a legal aid attorney may be available to help you. If the action is for non-payment of rent, we would be going a different direction, but these are filed as a termination of tenancy, meaning the landlord wants you to move. If the plaintiff is agreeable, the Citizens Mediation Services, Inc. may be available as a possible source of case resolution. If both parties are agreeable to mediation, the court can help set that up. Just contact the court. If you do reach an agreement with the plaintiff and a consent judgment is entered by the court, you would waive the rights listed above but have the following additional rights. The judgment may not be enforced until 3 business days have passed. You could move to set aside the judgment within those 3 days if you misunderstood what you consented to or what you were waiving. Your motion to set aside the judgment would be set for a landlord-tenant hearing in front of the judge, namely me, but if I did not find in your favor, the original judgment would stand. So let's do the Hartzell case first. We've got Leroy Powers Jr. there.
Yes.
Yes.
Marcos Marquez
Yes.
and Julian Marquez.
Yes.
Where are you guys now? Are you at 524 South Hooker?
No.
Yes or no?
No.
All right. Well, your person that owns the house, your grandmother wants you guys to move. What's your position?
Your guys' position.
I don't know. Right.
You don't know. You don't know if you want to move?
Oh. Yes.
Well,
Yeah.
there's no lease, and Miss Hartzell, do they pay any rent?
No.
No lease and no rent. Eventually, you guys are going to have to move. Do you have a place to go to?
No, not yet.
All right. Well, the law requires that I set this for a second hearing, whether anybody likes it or doesn't like it. Why do you get to stay there if she wants you to go and you don't pay any rent and you don't have a lease? Has anybody made any effort to find a place to go to?
He's talking to you, JJ.
Why am I the only one speaking? There's 2 other ones here.
You guys answer him.
Yes.
Have you guys
All right.
made?
Well, the law requires that I set this for a second hearing, and so we're going to do that. At that time, I'm going to give you 10 days to move out. Ms. Hartzell, this is probably 17 days too long for you, but they are entitled to have a second hearing. And we will do that. Next Friday afternoon at 2:30. Gentlemen, Your grandmother wants you to move out, and rather than throwing your stuff out in the street, she's going through the lawful process called a summary proceedings, which eventually results in an eviction. So we're going to reconvene next Friday at 2:30. If you've moved out by then, we don't need to have a hearing. If you haven't moved out, I'm going to give you 10 days from next Friday to move out, or you would be subject to being evicted. That's when the sheriff comes and throws all your stuff out in the street. So essentially, you've got 17 days to find a place to go to, or you'll be subject to being evicted. Do you guys work any place?
Do you work anywhere?
No.
Do you start on Monday?
Yeah, I start Monday.
Leroy, where do you work?
No, I don't work right now.
Marquez, do you work?
Which one?
Marquez. Oh,
There's two of them.
Marcos.
No.
No.
Julian?
Well, there's probably a connection between the fact that you don't work and you don't have any money. But at this point, you have 17 days to find another place to go. We will reconvene next week at 2:30. And if you're still there, we'll have a further hearing. And then Ms. Hartzell, I would order 10 additional days for them to get out. Now, I don't want any bad stuff to happen between now and then. No destruction of property, none of that stuff. You have a tenancy, and she can't just put you out, but she can go through the legal process, which she's done. The notice to quit was served on you back in December. So we will reconvene next Friday at 2:30 by Zoom like this. Do you understand?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, Leroy, you understand?
Yeah.
And Marcos?
Yeah.
All right, I'll see you next week. Ms. Hartzell, do you have any questions?
No.
All right, we'll try this again next week. If they're still there, they'll have 10 days or they're subject to eviction. All right, gentlemen, you're good to go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.